Well, David, good to see you again. I don't think you're going to be staying in the UK as long as you did last time on this trip, but just tell us what happened last time you were over here with Big Joe, of course, Joe Parker.
Yeah, thank you. It's good to be back. Last time, obviously, I was up here for Parker Chisora 2. Yep. Joseph Parker dominated and wonderful performance. But our government closed the border due to COVID. They wouldn't let their own citizens back. So I ended up stuck offshore for 3 or 4 months' time.
Jeez,
it was interesting, living in a hotel by yourself.
Enough time to celebrate the win. Enough time to celebrate the win.
To over-celebrate the win.
And what about this fella now? Because he's relocated to Morecambe. I mean, it's some sacrifice. I mean, the family is still in New Zealand and he's on his own in Morecambe, surrounded by Furies, obviously, and Andy Lee and everything else. Have you seen marked changes in this guy?
Yeah, I think Joseph Parker's found his feet, so to speak, and he's happy, he's enjoying it. I think the way Tyson Fury and his camp and Randy have welcomed Joseph almost like a family member has been wonderful. Like, we don't feel like we're fighting in enemy territory. There's almost like a home fight. There's a lot of friends, there's almost family, there's support here. And so Joseph's very comfortable and he's learning new things in camp and he's applying them, more importantly, in the ring. And I think you've seen, even in the short time that Parker's had with Andy Lee, improvement. And that's what we want to see. And if we see more improvement, Parker looked great against Chisora too, we see more improvement, that's going to be a handful for Joe Joyce.
I was just about to say that there's no denying the improvements under Andy Lee. There's been a lot of people saying, Josie Parker's one loss away from the end of his career, but do you think the Josie Parker of today under Andy Lee beats the Josie Parker who boxed Anthony Joshua?
100%.
Yeah.
I think Parker's a much better fighter today than he was 4 or 5 years ago. He's more confident, self-assured, more calm, more present in the ring, and I think you can see that in the performances. I'd go as far as to say that Joe Joyce is probably a tougher fight than Joshua was back in 2018.
It's a big shout.
But it's a much better Joseph Parker, so I think we win the fight.
How do you think the fight pans out? Because we know Joe Joyce, he's so big, he's awkward, he's a problem to solve for anybody. I mean, how do you break it down?
I don't know. And, my expertise around promoting and managing, I don't pretend to be an expert on the technicalities of it. Obviously, they're both very durable. And what I mean by that, Parker got headbutted by Dillian Whyte straight back up. I think Chisora put him down straight back up. I haven't seen Joseph Parker really hurt by a punch. And Joyce is legendary for that engine and durability. So that suggests that unless someone gets lucky, that it could be quite a long war of attrition, really. So it could go into the later rounds. Some would argue that suits Joe Joyce. I'd argue the opposite. Parker's almost a veteran, fighting big names in the late rounds. He went 12 rounds with Carlos Tack and won the fight. 12 rounds, Andy Ruiz won the fight. 12 rounds with Chisora twice, won both times. Then there's Anthony Joshua. Dillian Whyte got lucky. But those are big name fighters, big stage global events, 12 round experience. To me, Joe Joyce isn't tested at that level. So if anything, this is about how Joe Joyce performs at the elite level in the later rounds, if it goes that far.
David, you've guided Joseph's career fantastically well. He comes through on Saturday night and he beats Big Joe Joyce. Which route do you go? Obviously, him and Tyson Fury are like brothers now. We don't know what's going to happen between him, Usyk, Joshua. Which route do you go?
Well, the Joyce camp wouldn't take this fight without a rematch clause.
Okay.
So that's only happening because Parker agreed to a rematch. And, that's a bit weak on their side because Parker's putting it all on the line. Joyce isn't. So that means if Joyce wanted a rematch, there'll be a rematch. But for us, it's not a bad thing because you can take 9 months to make a big fight at this level and stuff around doing nothing. So for us, it's almost a good thing. It's another massive fight, another big payday, but potentially before Christmas, which provides a certainty and then hopefully look for a world title shot. If Joyce didn't want a rematch, you could sit around waiting for a world title shot. Well, it's hard to know without a crystal ball what's going to happen.
Well, hopefully, anyway, what doesn't happen is that you get locked down in Manchester again. Just enjoy your time this time.
It hasn't rained.
It's coming, don't worry, it's coming.
I've been to Manchester 4 or 5 times and it's rained non-stop, except for this time. So it's like a different city.
We hope you're enjoying it.
Thanks,
Thank
David.
you. Thank you.